This program contains strong language and strong sexual content. It is meant for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour Podcast. This is episode 2 of the Warpigs Table. Of course, I'm here. It's me and Matt this time. Unfortunately, Mike, he couldn't join us tonight. But I'm here with Chris Burns, Blood, and Psycrotes, the Warpigs. As we know, when we left you the last episode, we were talking about the infamous bump.
God bless him.
God bless him.
Oh, Bump, I love you.
Back bump. Well, one of the
I hope
stories.
you're alive. I do.
And Blood is highly inebriated right now. So
I am not.
Which is why he's talking normal.
Yeah.
Usually here. Down.
And so,
No.
one of the stories.
Drink a mess of blood.
One of the stories that stands out with me with Bump is that there was a time that we did a show and we were at the park and ride. And I don't know if any of the, some of the people at home, they may not know who they are, but some of the local fans may know who they are. There's two local wrestlers named Drolix and Kindred. Both of them are African-American wrestlers. And I remember.
Can I point out?
I remember the story of Drolix. This was just fresh, that there was a student that was giving Drolix a hard time. And he kept on saying the N-word to Drolix.
Oh.
Was it that Necro kid?
Yeah.
It
was Necro Kid.
Necro.
And so Necro was doing it. So Drolix grabbed the table, and we were like, Drolix, no. And we go to put the table back, and we turn around, and Drolix had hit the kid in the side of the head with the side of the chair and split his head open. And the kid just walked home. And we're like, is this kid dead?
He apologized.
So he apologized after that, but that was still fresh. So what we did is we gave Bump a sign that said black guys, like he was a limo, waiting for a limo or whatever and all that. We're like, yeah, you know what's going to happen? They're not even going to get out of the car. They're just going to run Bump down. And, he's not going to really be missed by many because he's Bump. He doesn't really. So, that's one thing that sticks out with Bump. But, what else has went down with Bump?
Do we agree or not agree that Bump was the MVP of your bachelor party?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, now let me set this up. Blood was supposed to be there, but he couldn't make it. So Bump took his place.
Blood had.
I sent Bump.
Blood had a family emergency, and I'll be 100% honest. I was so heartbroken that Blood couldn't come because Blood was in my wedding.
But Bump more than made up for it.
Oh yeah, and so what Blood did is Blood sent Bump in his spot, and me going from upset went to one of the greatest feelings I've ever had in my entire life, because in front of me at my bachelor party is the one and only back Bump. And I'm like, this is going to be the most awesome fucking night of my life because Bump's coming along with us.
And the whole time on the party bus, I was forcing Bump to chug beers and smoke weed. Because I said to Bump, I'm sober now, so you got to drink for both of us. So we got to, was it McDougal's?
Yes.
It was
McDougal's. Yeah.
And I was like, Bump, you're buying me a lap dance. So apparently Bump doesn't know how to use an ATM.
Well, he bought me a lap dance too.
Oh, right. He was at the ATM for 45 minutes.
Oh, my God. That was insane.
He finally gets the money out. He's just sitting there next to me right in front of the girl tipping. And he looks at me very creepily and he goes,
That's good pussy.
Psycrotes, that's some good pussy. Psycrotes, I would eat that fucking pussy.
Bump, I think Bump broke one of those unwritten rules because you don't bring the ATM card to a strip club.
Oh yeah,
you don't do that.
Here's the thing: my bachelor party, we're there, mind you. Before we went, we're drinking all this beer, we're drinking all this shit, we're eating hot dogs, we're eating hamburgers, And when we were at the first bar, I had 7 drinks in front of me. I'm like, I'm not gonna drink all this shit. This isn't gonna happen. So for the first time ever in my life, Bump buys me the lap dance. He's like, yeah, Chase, here you go. I got you a lap dance, man. So the whole time the girl's giving me the lap dance, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh fuck, this ain't good. She's on me. She's giving me a lap dance. She's in the middle of it. and I feel everything. I literally
feel it coming up.
I feel my soul
I was there.
about to leave
I
my body.
felt it for
And
you.
like at that point, I have no idea what's happening. Like I don't know if there's a lap dance going on. So she sits there and she gets done. And she's like, "Was that good for you?" And I get up and I run as fast as I can to the bathroom. And you're talking about exorcist fucking vomit. Just like if you've ever seen Team America World Police, the way that fucking dummy just throws up.
The chunks of hot dog were
my
so
God.
big.
Yeah.
They were so large.
Our buddy
that's
Mike
so
walked in.
nasty.
He walked in the door and he looked and he was like, "We need to
Please
leave
my soul that you
now."
watched.
And I enjoyed it.
Oh
You
my
could
God!
see it. You could see the chunks.
And then
You had almost as bad of a night that night as CM Punk.
oh my God!
Because that was the night he had his first UFC fight.
Oh,
And
wow.
like here's the thing, like, and this makes me think with Bump too. There was also a night, Burns, I believe you were there, and
bachelor
it was
party,
a night that no, not the bachelor party. It was a night that we went out and we took Bump out with us.
Okay.
We got him all kinds of drunk, and Joe Hamilton was with us. And
Which those of you that are just joining us, Joe Hamilton's the godfather of happy hour.
yeah,
stems from
it's it
from
extended
years
Hamilton?
back.
from Hamilton's.
Oh,
happy
God bless
hour.
you, Hamilton.
God
bless Joe
God bless
Hamilton.
you.
So we're out with Hamilton, and Hamilton's thing was
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton, I'm sorry.
I don't.
Cheers.
Hamilton,
know
I'm
how
sorry
many-
we had heat at one point.
Yeah, we're all cheersing to Hamilton
God
right now.
bless you, Hamilton.
So Hamilton's thing was, I don't know how many times I heard him say, "Let's piss on this motherfucker."
Yeah.
There was a time that we were at a diner, and one of the students threw like a thing of fucking butter or something like that, and it hit Joe.
It was Buddy, the little fat kid.
No, it wasn't Buddy. It was
fat
a little skinny
stuff
emo kid that
ladies.
hung out with them.
That kid
He went,
never
he
crowd.
went to the bathroom, and
Fuck
me
your
and Joe
Dusty.
cornered him in the bathroom, and we pissed all over him in the bathroom.
And he had to take the bus home.
Yeah. So he took the bus home. So anyways, we take Bump out. We get Bump drunk. I wasn't there, but I heard that they get Bump drunk as shit. So Bump's out. And then Bump starts throwing up all over our friend Erica's car. Just all over her car.
She never got the smell out of that car.
Oh, my God.
Even after she got rid
So
of that
what
car.
happened was JD
call
with them
Derek?
too?
Where's Derek?
Yeah, what was JD with them too that night? I think JD
he
was
was,
there.
yeah.
I think
So
he was.
what ended up happening is they dropped Bump off at the school. And they pissed all over Bump. They pissed all over him all that. The next day, I go to the school. We open up the school to go train.
He's still
and
there.
Bump is still there, naked, covered in toilet paper.
Can I ask
like,
how-
wet
how-
toilet paper all over him. It's like, Chase, you gotta let me out of here. They locked me in here.
How did
I'm
it?
sitting there,
How did it
and
smell?
He smelled like shit. and I'm sitting there like, this is when we had to school off of Country Ridge Lane. So you never knew what you were walking into in that building anyways.
No, it's the one in Middle River.
Middle River.
Was it Middle
Yeah,
River?
yeah.
Okay. But he's like, they locked me in here and I couldn't get out. I'm sitting there. I'm
was a
looking at
hostage.
it,
Bay door.
And I'm looking at the door and I'm like, dude, there's a bay door and it has a knob that turns. You could have just turned it and let yourself out. Like, I don't understand.
He was too traumatized.
Oh yeah. So and you know, Bump managed Blood for a good while. He was manager of the Oddball Army and all that. And apparently he was living with the promoter Jim for a good while. And apparently what happened is he freaked out, destroyed his room one day, and vanished. Never to be seen or heard from again, which is very heartbreaking because we all loved
Yeah, I
Bump.
love Bump.
Like,
Bump,
you
Bump
know,
if you're out there, God bless you.
I will tell you.
Oh, we've got a scoop.
Yeah. Bump. I was still in communication with Bump at that point. Bump was talking to some girl. We all know you don't fucking answer fucking random messages.
Oh,
But
God.
it was some random message from a girl in Germany.
Oh no! Is
Oh,
he?
I've heard
Is he?
this.
Please tell me he's in Germany.
Did he lose a kidney?
He is.
gosh.
Oh my! What?
Wow.
What?
It was fucking. It's fucking. What's the
I've heard
movie?
this.
I've never heard this. Blood. How
No,
did you
no,
sit? How did you sit on this information for so long and not let the wrestling community know?
What's the movie called? Fucking damn it! What's the fucking German movie called?
Taken? I don't know.
No.
The Nazi one?
No,
What are
when-
you?
the guy who got his dick cut off.
Hostile?
Hostile.
No, hostile.
It's fucking hostile.
Oh, no.
So fucking.
No.
He was talking to this girl in Germany, and he was like in love with this girl in Germany, and I kept telling him, "Bump."
So Bump is dickless somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what
I was like,
Is he also missing a kidney though?
I was like, "Bump,
Dude, I almost sprayed beer all over the laptop.
Bump, don't go to Germany."
It's a trap.
It's a fucking gimmick.
yeah.
So like
Oh,
this
that
girl
poor
kept,
soul.
like everybody is like, she's like, send me some money.
Yeah.
I'll come to America because I love you. And Bump fell for this.
Such naive. And
Did it take him an hour to get the money out of the ATM to send
Well, no.
over to her?
So instead of sending her the money, Bump said he was going to Germany.
Oh, no.
And I was like, Bump, don't go to Germany.
Bump, if you're listening, come contact us.
Come
Bump,
back.
Bump, come home.
And then
we miss you, Bump.
Come home, Bump.
But Bump went to Germany.
Yeah. Bump, if you are listening somewhere in Germany, we miss you and we love you. And we're
we love
sorry
you,
for the
and
times we
want you
pissed
to
on
come-
you.
we want you to come
and,
home.
you know, all that stuff. But we miss you. Please, please,
But
please
I haven't heard
come
from
home.
Bump since he said he was going to Germany.
Oh, my God.
For
Now,
Oktoberfest last year.
speaking... now, we're going to redirect a little bit. Speaking of Hamilton, there's a night that stands out, and Psycrotes and Burns can talk about this night. And I apologize. We got a lot of beers moving, so if you hear us putting them down on the table, we apologize. But
Don't you fucking apologize for me.
We're drinking a lot of beer.
I'm not apologetic. I will
So-
fucking rape your mother.
Speaking
I
of
love
Hamilton,
apologize for nothing.
there was a night that Hamilton, he had his birthday. So we go out to a bar, and I'm going to leave the name undisclosed for now. But
You don't have to leave it undisclosed because that bar's closed now.
all right, well, no, not the one next to the venue. That
No, not that one.
with Sun. This is where I'm going. I'm going
that
to the,
one. Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
So we go out for Hamilton's birthday.
That wasn't
and
his birthday.
It wasn't. I thought it was his birthday.
That was Luna's birthday.
Oh, it was okay. It was Luna's birthday. Okay. Anyway, so we're on somebody's birthday.
Man, blood.
You know,
I love you, blood, but I got
and we get there, and as soon as we walk in through the door, we have Nui Tofia with us. He's a big 300-pound Samoan.
Oh, yeah.
So he walks in with Joe, and there's this drunk guy that literally thinks that Nui and Joe are Rob and Big.
Ah, yes.
And there's no way physically possible they're Rob and Big. So he starts buying them all these drinks. Nui has never drank a drop of alcohol a day in his life. So he's giving me all the drinks. So we're getting tanked up. He's sitting there, and the whole time he's going, Son!
He was
Son!
trying to get Nui and Joe to come to Atlanta with him.
Yeah, he was trying to get Nui to drive him to Atlanta. So there was this point that Son went and got food. So he goes to get food, and me and Psycrotes are out front. So he comes back. He's got all this food from like a restaurant there. So what happens is we sit there and we see him come back. And he has like 2 pizzas and like
a big cheesesteak.
a cheesesteak and shit like that. So we sit there and it's like, fuck. Well, he puts the food down. And they're like, dude, you can't bring that in here. And he's like, what do you mean I can't bring the food in here? So I'm tanked off my ass. I look at Psycrotes. I don't know if poor Awkward knows this or not. But
I knew of it, but I'd already left at that point. So
No, you were there.
I was there
yeah.
for it, but I think I might just let.
Well,
just
you were
let
there.
when-
You don't know this part. I look at Psycrotes and I'm like, I'm throwing this pizza all over Awkward's car. Fuck him. So we're walking through the parking lot. And at this point, we're looking for it. And then I finally realized I don't know what fucking car Awkward drives. I have no idea what kind of car it
So
was.
you just threw it on some random person's
Yeah, I
car.
threw it on some random blue pickup truck.
And we walk back.
yeah,
I'm still
yeah.
holding the cheesesteak.
Yeah.
The guy sees us.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hand the cheesesteak to Madman Sam and say, "Here, take this," and we run away.
Yeah. And well, see, the thing is he looks and he's like, motherfucker, you took my food? I killed you.
got a gun. I'm
Yeah,
gonna kill
I got
you.
a gun. I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? So Madman Sam's fucking scared the entire time that this dude's gonna kill him.
Yep.
And we go back in, and mind you, we're drinking the whole night. Eventually, Son was asked to leave. So, we're drinking, and me and Hamilton end up in the bathroom, and we're taking a piss. And Hamilton looks at me. He's like, bro, I'm going to rip that urinal off the wall. And I'm like, all right. He's like, you should rip that toilet out the ground. So next thing you know, so we're sitting here, and Blood has a random little hand. And I don't know where it came from, and he's just waving it back and forth on his finger. And you just see a little doll hand just waving above the beer box.
I bet you if you jerked off with that, it'd feel amazing.
You would feel so huge with your cock in that hand. So
we'll find
I
out.
sit there and I rip the urinal off the wall. Fucking just completely. Fucking owners are flipping out. They're like, who did this? And throughout the night we were joking around that when I had on Erica's sunglasses, I looked like Drew Carey. So they're flipping out. They're like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. It was a dude who looked like Drew Carey wearing glasses. And fucking, yeah, that is a whole sequence.
He just bumped his head on the table.
Oh my god. So with that, we're gonna get on to the whole how I got the nickname Toilet Ripper. We used to frequent a bar, and Blood knows he can contest with this little hand that's waving at me. He can contest that we would go to Bluefin's all the time after wrestling shows. Oh man, it
wasn't even after wrestling shows.
Oh, yeah.
It was literally
in general.
It was literally every
Oh,
weekend.
2-3 times a week. Yeah.
It was.
We'd roll at least 10, 20 deep.
What was the bad part is it was $20 all you could drink.
All I could drink.
All you could drink except for top shelf liquor. That was a bad move.
Bad
Especially with a
news
bunch of
written all
wrestlers.
over.
Yeah, we'd go there. We would have Friday shows. We did Friday shows every week just so we'd go to Bluefin's afterwards. Joe made it that way. And we'd go there, Drollicks be dancing. We'd be, we'd be
It was
all
like how we
drinking.
do Rambo shows just to go to Lake.
Yeah, we do it just to go afterwards. And so there was a night that we...
Eventually we just did Bluefin's. Without the shows.
There was a night that we were there, and it was... I remember we were all in the bathroom. We were all taking a piss. We're sitting there on the urinals, and I'm so drunk. I'm sitting there. I'm leaning, and I have my hand on the pipe of the urinal, and I'm taking a piss. And Joe pulled off all the little rings to the urinal, and he's like, "Come on, motherfucker, pull yours." And I don't know what he's talking about, so I have my hand on the pipe. So I pull as hard as I can, and the pipe just rips off the fucking wall completely. Just completely tears off the wall, and water shoots out of the goddamn wall. Just shoots out of the wall, goes across my shorts. And all that, and water's just flying, flooding the bathroom. The bouncer runs in, and he's like, "Oh my god, what the hell happened?" And Stevie Riggs, who was there, thank God, he's like, "Dude, I don't know. I'm just trying to take a piss, and we're all getting all wet or whatever." He's like, "Ray, are you getting wet?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm soaked."
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And he's like, "I don't know, but it was like this when we came in here." So the rest of the night, I was hiding behind a bar because my pants were wet from the water just shooting across me. And we ended up throwing a picnic table and back river
into the river,
which floated back.
It
6
came
months
back
later.
It was a good 6 months later.
Like
it just floated back. We're like, hey.
But you know what? I think the whole time, I think they knew we were doing that shit. But they never said anything because we spent so much money in that place.
We brought everybody else there too. Yeah.
And that leads me. You remember we went there for Blood's birthday?
Yep.
That was the night that Blood ate a scorpion.
Blood's 30th birthday.
Oh yeah.
He ate the scorpion.
Yeah, it was your birthday.
My birthday.
It was his 30th.
Because you had that little white overcoat.
White suit.
Yeah, the white suit jacket.
Yeah. God, it looks sexy.
I remember that.
That was the night I slipped in the parking lot on his puke
Yeah,
while
he
naked
threw-
trying to do the Shawn Michaels pose.
Yeah. He did a Shawn Michael pose, and your foot got caught underneath my car.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting there trying to wrestle your foot out.
And
from
I was
underneath
naked.
the car. Yeah.
And he was naked. Well,
So,
glad he was
and then Blood, like he had
Except
tequila,
everyone.
and then the scorpion was there.
tequila.
Yeah, and Blood's like, okay, watch this. He just downs the
And
scorpion.
he ate the
didn't
scorpion.
He didn't even chew it. He just he swallowed it like it was a shot.
Well, that's the only reason I got the tequila was because I wanted the scorpion.
Yeah.
So I had to finish it to get the scorpion.
deal.
To be fair, you also wanted
The only
the
way to
tequila.
get the scorpion
Yeah.
is to eat the tequila.
You only drank the tequila because you had to, though.
Yeah.
You had to get the
Yeah.
It was in the way of the scorpion.
It wasn't my choice. I didn't want to drink it.
I will note tequila is fucking evil as fuck. Yes. I will never drink that ever again.
Since we're all on the Warpigs episode, there's one more Warpig story that I have to tell before I forget. And I know Blood remembers this because he pops
No, I
for
don't.
it. Well, he might. There was me and Blood as the Warpigs against the Latin Hit Squad.
Oh,
At the
God.
my
West-
God.
At the West
Wait a
Virginia
minute, West Virginia?
at the West Virginia Country Music
Country
Hall of
Music Hall of
Fame.
Fame. Okay, I love this one.
We used to do
I
a
love
spot.
this.
We used to do the Hardy Boys spot where Jeff would run up Matt's back and do the dive.
Oh, dude, like the Eddie Guerrero spot didn't work with us. Why would you think that would work?
It usually works. But
He jumped off.
Here's the thing. I usually would do it to the outside. One of the Latin Hit Squad guys had a broken wrist. He was still getting over, so he had a cast on. He's like, brother, I don't know if I feel comfortable catching you. I was like, all right, well, how about this then? I'll do the dive, and you guys just move, and I'll fucking take the big bump.
Yeah.
On the outside.
It was an outdoor
From
show.
the ring.
It was an outdoor show, so I figure it's grass. It's not that hard. I didn't take into consideration.
mountains.
I didn't take into consideration the fact that we were on the side of a mountain. So underneath the grass, it's just rock. Also, keep in mind at the time, I was going through pancreatitis from alcoholism. So I take the fucking bump. And
Off my back,
off
over
of-
the ring,
Good 10 feet in the air. I splat. I roll over.
on the ground.
I roll over, I cough, and I just start coughing up blood. Not blood, real blood. I get back in the ring and I say to Blood, Blood, you're gonna have to work like the majority of this match.
Oh.
I finished the match.
I'm dying.
I finished the match after coughing up about 3 liters of blood.
Oh my God! Speaking of blood,
he jumped off my back over the ropes, just straight to the ground.
Yep.
Speaking of blood,
I'm
there was a night that you showed up to a party
How dare
covered
you,
in
blood.
blood, and you almost died
Oh,
from bleeding. Would you like to share that story?
would. All right, so it was,
See, look, it's so great to hear this because the sacrifice that the wrestlers put out
It was-
on the line.
it was my friend.
And they continue to the fucking match.
Just to
That-
make it to
that
the
is
party.
To see
unbelievable.
titties after the
It was my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
It was my friend DJ's bachelor
the
party.
motivation.
I had a show that night in Ransom, West Virginia. It was an 8-man TLC lumberjack match.
That
So you
just
can imagine what
sounds like a
clusterfuck,
disaster.
yes.
Just right off the bat.
I decided, I want to get a little color, as we say in the business, a little juice. But I might have went a little too deep. So I almost bled out in the ring. I lost about, a good 50, 60%
That
of
was the
the...
same bachelor party.
blood
though,
in my
wasn't it?
No, this was DJ's bachelor party.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Me and you were on that.
I
Sorry to interrupt.
I bled into Corey Bush's mouth,
Oh,
which he's still angry about because I fuck a lot of hookers and But I finished the match.
That's-
And then I saw the
That's sad.
I saw that there was a doctor. I saw the doctor after the match, and he says to me, where do you have to go to get home? I says, well, I got to go back to Baltimore. He says, all right, as soon as you get to Baltimore, you got to go to the hospital and get stitched up. And I'm sure, no problem, doc. But it's my best friend's bachelor party. So I get to the house.
why would you do that?
The dedication, right? That's dedication.
These guys are still out on. Was it a limo? You guys had that?
Yeah, we
All
had
right,
a
these
limo.
guys are. Our friend Lunar's wife answers the door.
Oh,
Carrie.
shit, I was there. Did I go to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. No,
you
you were at the
were
bachelor
you were at the
party.
bachelor
Yeah,
party.
you're at the bachelor party.
I go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
you were
at
at
the
the
show.
bachelor
Blood's like, I go.
So
I go. Yeah.
I got back to Lunar's house, and his lovely wife Carrie, answers the door because you guys were still out. She looks at me. She makes the most disgusted face she's ever made, and she says, "What the hell happened to you?" So I go upstairs and I start washing my hair in Dan's sink, and it's just pure red coming out. I had to take 3 showers, by the way, to get all the blood out of my hair.
Oh my
She
God.
said it was caked so deep in my scalp. And okay,
And that's it. And that's when Lunar found out that his shower had AIDS.
but the story is not over. I come back out as you guys are pulling up in the limo. Blood comes out, just starts yelling at me. Ray comes out and starts pissing on Dan's lawn.
Ugh.
I'm like, oh, seems like you guys had a fun night. And somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody just came right out and puked.
No, Johnny Monster, I believe.
What, was Monster there? Yeah, it might have been Monster.
Yeah, might
I
have been
got his ass. He took a firecracker in his ass.
No, that was a different night. That was a different night.
That's a different story.
Something-
I'm
different
sorry.
time.
Oh,
These
and
stories
some-
just run together.
Suffice to
After all
say,
these years.
just to tie the whole thing in a bow, because of that night, the House of Pain was banned from Ransom, West Virginia. Or excuse me, the House of Pain was banned from Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, for 90 days.
Well, aren't you banned from every campground in America after that too?
To this day. Well, no, I actually did go back. I was banned from every KOA in America for 90 days. I did, that was what they told me.
Yeah.
I did go back and work one more show, so apparently I'm not banned anymore.
Now, real quick, we're going to
And I
switch
felt-
gears.
Oh,
We're going to
go
go to our beer of the night, which
Beer of the night.
I don't know who can pronounce this, but it looks like
Beer
it's
of the night.
Zakoveska,
Zakoviza!
which is
Zakoviza.
X-O-V-E-Z-A. And it's
It's
stone
inspired
Zakovica.
by a Mexican hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah, inspired by Mexican hot chocolate.
It's 8.1 alcohol content.
Okay.
And I can tell you,
8.1.
8.1.
I can tell you that it's fucked.
I can tell you that blood's
Super
fucked.
crazy drinks this
Yeah,
shit, man.
yeah. So, real quick, we're going to go into some fan questions. And where are the fan questions? Right here.
It is.
All right, there's a loyal EWA fan that comes every show named Dave, and
Fuck you, Dave.
he asked, "What was
Dave
it?"
Biddle.
Yeah, Dave Biddle.
Dave Biddle.
Dave
I'm
Biddle.
gonna fuck you right in the ass, Dave Biddle.
So Dave Biddle asked,
Right in your
"What
fucking
was
butt."
our best after show story?" I will start off with Blood. What's your best, what you know of after show story?
I don't even know where the fuck I am. How fucking. We just went through a lot of them, right?
We did go through a lot.
I know, but
I'm gonna
These
say
last 2 episodes have been.
I'm gonna say it's got to be the legs night that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
that's got to be
There's I think legs.
So many
you can't beat the beer
Legs
pyramid.
is up
Yeah.
there.
Fucking Dave. Fuck you, Dave. What the fuck kind of question was that? I'm gonna rape your mother, Dave. And what about that?
What
That's
about-
my fucking favorite story, Dave. When I fucking fucked your mother in the ass. That's when
Dave's not here, man.
And he put his
God
fucking
damn
foot
it,
on the
Dave.
top of her head and fucked her in the
God
ass.
And then
damn it, Dave.
Our good friend
Next
Matty
question.
Paul. We all know Matty Paul.
We love you, Matty.
Where the
He
fuck
had a
am I?
question for me, and that was, why weren't Chase and Gold Thumb ever in the same place at the same time? Well, for those who know, I was Gold Thumb, so there's no way that could happen.
What? Wait a minute.
But
How did I
you
not
were.
know?
a fun,
You know.
a fun question, a fun story though is that I never really liked the whole Undertaker versus Undertaker or Kane versus Kane storyline. So I thought about doing a Gold Thumb like haunting Chase Rawlings type thing, but I was like, I never really bought into that kind of stuff. But I did think about recreating the Legion and passing that gimmick on to a bunch of other reject students, because when you look at it, when you put the Legion of Ungood together, you had me, you had Wes, and you had Bobby Pancakes. We weren't fucking gonna do shit on shows. We sucked. So when Ruckus sat there and told us, "Oh, you guys are the Legion of Ungood," we sat there, we walked out of that room, and we were like, "Let's just quit the business. This is never gonna work." And it's still talked about today. Yeah. People still remember Gold Thumb and the Legion, but yeah, I was gonna pass it on to somebody else.
I'm too drunk for it. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, speaking of which, I'm gonna go to looking at. I feel bad every time I look at Blood. There's a scar in the middle of Blood's head, and there's a fun story with that. There was a time.
Some of those are my fault.
Yeah. Well, I worked Blood one night,
Like
and he had a chair over his head, and he had a chair over his head. And I sat there and I stomped the chair, and the chair opened up and it split his head completely open. I heard him go, "Motherfucker," when I did it. And I was like, "Oh."
You botched the chair
Like,
shot.
yeah. So Blood super glues it closed, and you know, Blood's such a sweetheart of a person. Like I thought Blood was gonna kill me, and but I sit there in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm like,
I did a promo after the show.
Yeah.
And I was
Blood.
I passed out during the promo.
Yeah. And
awesome.
you know, here's the thing. I knew a receipt was coming. I knew it was, I just didn't know when. So we did this show at Rambo's. It was at a school. And if you know Rambo's school, he had these big giant fucking beams that went across the ring.
Yeah.
So the finish of the match was Blood giving me the sit-on off the top. And I'm sitting there, I'm laying there, and me and Blood make eye contact. We make eye contact, and he gets these big, wide, the blood eyes, I like to call them. And I look, and I'm like, this is it. Here's the receipt. And I see him, mind you, at this point, Blood's probably like 260, maybe 270. Blood was big then. He jumps, grabs the beam in the ceiling, pulls himself up like a fucking like raccoon or a fucking monkey or something like that, holds on, and then just lets go and drops. And his whole entire body just drops on me. You just hear me go, "Bleh!" And I just hear Blood laughing or whatever and all that. I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Can you picture a steel chair with just a bunch of giant nails sticking out of it?
Oh yeah, I can. I've been in a match with this son of a bitch with a nail with chair.
Before that in the match, you did give me a fucking a spine buster. That fucking spine buster, the worst spine buster I've ever gotten.
What are you talking about?
In that match where I sentoned you.
Oh, that was Rambo's
I owed
ring.
you even more. I didn't even remember. I didn't even remember the receipt until that fucking spine buster. On the fucking boxing ring. Oh.
Yep.
It was a wood boxing ring.
Oh my god!
You fucking
come on,
spine busted me.
Wait,
I remember
school
now,
ring.
you fucker.
Which ring was stiffer, Rambo's or the original MEWF school ring?
Oh my god!
Oh, definitely MEWF.
I think MEWF.
Yeah,
that's MEWF. You were taking bumps outside the ring because of how bad the MEWF ring was. It was fucking awful.
I'll say this: the hardest chair shot I ever took was from Axel Rotten. Numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were all from Blood, and three of those were in the same match.
All in one match.
In one match, a steel chair death match. One of them was with a chair of nails.
Yeah.
One of them was with a chair of beer bottles, which I made.
That's your fault.
It's my fault. And here's the thing. You know how, like, if you have Budweiser bottles, they're not that thick. You could probably break them if you.
Yeah.
I was heavy. I was 230 pounds at the time. I got this chair down with the beer bottles on it. I got Blood hooked for a power bomb. I say, reverse, give me a backdrop. Blood gives me a backdrop onto these bottles. Not one of them broke. No. So I roll out to the ring apron. I'm selling. He picks up the chair.
They will break.
He picks up the chair.
They will.
He picks up the chair. Fucking shoots me over the head with it. I take a flat Foley bump to the floor.
Still didn't break.
They still didn't break. So I'm on the floor selling.
Like, you forget how hard it is to break a bottle.
Yeah.
I will break it.
It was this Chinese beer called Sing Tao. They were
Sing Tao.
and they were green. So I'm on the outside still selling. Blood just starts pulling the bottles off of the chair and pitching them at me. Two of them go right into the crowd, past people. One of them hits me right in the fucking head and finally breaks.
Do you know what the most terrifying experience in your life is? Knowing you need to work Blood when he's drunk. Like, Blood is probably I've worked Blood more than anybody else. I've been in more matches with Blood than anybody else. There was a match that we did at the school. And that's the one when he used the bed and nails chair. And
good segue. I enjoy your segue.
So he came out. He's wearing that little apron that he had. So he had a beer bottle in the apron, and when he comes out to chase me away, the beer spills all over the ring. At that point, I'm petrified because I'm like, Blood will fucking kill me.
The beer was in my apron. Damn it!
So Blood gets it. So we do the match. There's a point where Blood throws me over the guardrail into the chairs in the crowd. So I get thrown into the chairs in the crowd. I go run into the bathroom at the wrestling school. Mind you, there's no way to get out of the bathroom. So you hear the fans going, "Get out of here, you fucking idiot! You can't get out of there." Blah blah. So Blood comes in behind me, wraps his apron around my throat, and when I say wraps it around my throat, he wrapped it around my throat, brings me out, throws me on the floor, and then as I'm getting up, all I see in my peripheral vision is a gray blob flying at me, and it was a fucking trash can, and I just see and just fucking hits me right in the side of my head, rings my bell.
But wait, Chase. Who was the guy who just threw the giant roll of barbed wire at you?
That's funny because we did the show at Rambo's, and the ring ropes were supposed to be wrapped in barbed wire. Yeah. That was the first time I've ever done a match that involved barbed wire or anything like that. And Rambo was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Somebody didn't wrap the goddamn ropes."
Okay, so there's just a giant spool of barbed wire. It had to be, what would you say, about maybe 2.5 feet high?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of shit I can do with this thing. I had Blood give me like a backdrop on it. I think I took like an Irish whip into it. At some point, you were working with, I think it was Jackpot was the fourth guy in the match.
Yeah.
I think at some point you were working with Jackpot, and it's sitting there. I'm like, I got to think of something. You know how Sabu would just throw chairs at people? I'm like, well, why don't I just throw a giant roll of barbed wire? Unfortunately, you wouldn't see it coming because you had your back turned.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that.
And real quick, guys, we need to take a break. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
We here at the HH Pod would like for you to go visit Tony, Kaylee, and the rest of their talented artists at Instant History Tattoo and Art Studio in beautiful downtown Havre de Grace. They were recently voted second runner-up and the best in Hartford County. Make sure you check them out and get some quality ink done. Once again, that's Instant History Tattoo and Art Studio.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Shining Diamond, Rico Diamante, and I am a graduate of the EWA Paint Factory. Have y'all ever dreamed of stepping out of the crowd and getting into the ring? I mean, that's exactly what I did, and all I'm doing is kicking ass and taking names since. The EWA Paint Factory is now accepting new students so you can experience the same success as the Shining Diamond, Rico Diamante. We're located at 1113 North Point Boulevard in Dundalk, Maryland. So make sure you find us on social media, on Twitter and Facebook. Make your dreams come true today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the Happy Hour podcast.
Let's just skip it.
My co-host, Matt, he has a little bit of something that he wants to say to everybody at home.
So, yeah, guys, I just want to go off the record here and say that these guys I'm here with are just, they're just amazing. They go day in, day out. They all know each other. They do some, you heard the stories, and I'm sure there's plenty more. They do some fucked up shit together. But, it's just for sheer grade A entertainment. I mean, it's just amazing what these guys do. And I'm drunk.
Keep putting this over, brother.
We'll do each other during the show, and then fucking get fucked up after the show.
So the beach house, right?
Yeah. So anyways, I think what Matt's trying to say is that he appreciates us as workers and what we do. And all that. So
right on, brother.
But,
absolutely. No, it's
absolutely.
No, it really is very inspiring as coming from the non-wrestler from the room. So what you guys do is just amazing. It
we
really
appreciate
is.
that. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I'll kill him during the show.
Yeah.
And then fucking hang with him.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It's like you kill each other during these shows.
And then we go out and drink beer together.
Like, let's just go get some fucking beer.
Let's go get fucked up in the white church.
And really, that's what it's all about. No matter where you're from, EWA, WWF, or no, sorry, WWE.
Yeah. The World Wildlife Fund.
Whatever it is, it may be. It's just you guys are all just dudes, just fucking shit up, and just y'all are just
raise my
y'all
friend.
Are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I will raise my friend, but I will. During the thing, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I will fucking kill every one of you, right? To the fucking point.
Blood, you and I have almost killed each other many times.
I'll kill every one of you.
And from
to
here,
the point where I will hang out with you afterwards.
Yeah.
If you survive.
If you survive, we'll hang out afterwards. But up to that point, I'll fucking kill you.
You know, I'll say this, and I told Blood this the other night when we were hanging out, is that I forgot who quoted this in the business, but one thing with the wrestling business is that you run into many acquaintances, but you have very, very few friends. And in the wrestling business,
a lot of people have said that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, right. And in the wrestling business, honestly, I can count on one hand how many friends I have, and that's Blood, Psycrotes, Burns, and Lunar, all those guys were at my wedding and all that, I mean, there's just, and those are the guys that,
is awesome.
Yeah, that we call each other and we're like, hey, let's go hang out. Like, for example, the night we went out to the beach house. Well, we used to hang out at the beach house all the time. We go to the beach house. And
that's right.
Okay,
Psycho, I'll let you tell this.
Okay, I can take over. So me and Blood might have been a little drunk.
Yeah,
I have never been drunk. How dare you?
There's these three military guys. Yeah. And I don't remember exactly what led to what, but
they were doing push-ups on the tree. And
see what first of all, with all this, I was trying to talk to some chick.
Oh yeah, I will add this was of course before Ray met his lovely wife.
Yeah.
He was trying to hit on some hot blonde bitch.
This was like 2008.
Yep.
This was like 2008. So I'm trying to talk to this chick, and at the corner of my eyes, I just see shit going down. I'm like, what's happening?
These guys, they were talking shit to me and Blood, which, if you know anything about me and Blood, we'll fucking kill you. We'll eat you.
Yeah.
So here's what they did. They didn't like face us man on man. Me and Blood walked out on the pier because there was a pier at the beach house.
Yeah.
We walked out on the pier because I had to pee, so I was going to pee in the river. So me and Blood are on the pier, just chilling, and these three motherfuckers come up, and they basically corner us, and they didn't want to let us off the pier. So the one guy's in my face, and the other two are in Blood's face. And, the guy's like, talking shit, whatever. Blood's just walking past him, just pushing his way through. Well,
he had to pee.
He had to pee. Meanwhile, I'm on the other guy's face, and I'm trying to be rational and calm, because you know me, I'm never get heat with anybody. I'm a rational, calm young man. And eventually, though, I may have lost my temper, and I just started. I went into Iron Sheik mode. So Ray's, sitting there talking to this young lady. And I believe he turned around and he heard some noises coming from the pier, such as, "You motherfucker, I will break your fucking back. You no good fucking Jew, I will fuck you in the ass."
I turn around, I see Psycrotes drawing a line in the sand.
I
cross this fucking line out. I
literally drew a line in the sand. I took off my shirt, I did the Iron Sheik, and then... I was ready to go. Next thing I know, a large bouncer.
I love that you took your glasses off your and put them on the table before you did that.
Not the glasses on his face, by the way.
Yeah.
A large bouncer came over, And let's just say he politely escorted me off the premises. So Ray, you did not get to bang the hot blonde bitch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because it was happening, and I looked, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I need to go help my friends.
Here's a quick addendum to that story. Me and Blood went to Dick's after that because we wanted to keep drinking.
Yeah.
Do you remember this, Blood?
Mind you, this place. Now, for those of you who aren't local, there's a bar near us called Dick's Halfway In.
It's literally down the street
bullshit.
from my house.
Yeah, no bullshit.
We go to Dick's Halfway In, and we keep drinking, and Blood is just like fuming. He's very angry. He's very, very angry.
Well, Blood gets angry over the dumbest things.
How dare you? Don't you fucking...
Keep in mind.
I will fucking eat your fucking face. Don't you fucking question me.
Keep in mind.
You motherfucker.
And he's such a fucking sweetheart.
Keep in mind, I had actually calmed down by this point, and Blood's just sitting next to me going, "Those motherfuckers! I'll kill those motherfuckers."
Speaking of which, there was a night it was New Year's. I was talking about this with Blood, and Blood said he vaguely remembered this. It was a night. It was New Year's. We went to Joe Hamilton's house. We started drinking there. Kindred brought this fucking Jamaican fucking rum. I don't know what it is.
Jamaican banana. God bless you, Kindred. Yeah. Jamaican banana rub with the fucking shit.
It sent me into fucking nowhere world. So we're at the fucking bar, and there's this dude giving Hamilton all kinds of shit. Like he fucking wants to fight Hamilton and all that stuff. Just giving him, and you just see Blood. Blood's just sitting there looking at the corner of his eye, like looking at him, like this fucking motherfucker.
I just wanted a drink.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to fucking drink my beer.
So Blood just wants to. So next thing you know,
angry right now.
You just see Blood just cold cock the guy, just bam, guy, ground out, dead, and Blood just puts his hands up. It's over. There's no fighting. We're here to drink beer. It's New Year's. Let's just move on. And Blood. I love Blood to death, but the slightest little thing that Davey Havoc's wedding. We were at Davey Havoc's wedding.
I just wanted a fucking drink, and this motherfucker kept fucking with Hamilton. God damn it! I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we're at Davey Havoc's wedding.
I'm sorry.
There was this guy that was dancing.
Interrupting the fucking podcast.
There was this guy that was dancing, and he had a tie tied around his head. And that pissed Blood off so bad. Blood was like, this fucking motherfucker wearing a tie. We had to talk Blood off the fucking ledge on not killing that guy at Davey Havoc's wedding.
He was fucking dancing around like a fucking jackass with a fucking tie on his head. God damn it. I just want a drink.
Guy with the tie on your head, if you're listening to this show, fuck you, you motherfucker.
That's right. That's another call out.
Another one.
And of course after that, me and Blood are both drunk. So at the end of the wedding, they're giving out cases of beer. So
that was their fault.
Yeah. So they're giving out cases of beer. So I had to have my wife drive because I couldn't drive. So she's sitting there and she tries to leave, and Blood climbs up on top of the car and he's waving the 30 pack of beer in the air. He's like, "Ray, you motherfucker, you're gonna drink this with me? I'm gonna smash your fucking windshield in if you don't." And she's like,
"No, I didn't, Ray."
She's like, "What do I do?" I'm like, "Just drive." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Just drive. He'll get off the car." So she's sitting there like, on top of the car. So she starts to move and he gets off.
I recall that.
Of course you do. So he gets out, and it's kind of like the scene at the end of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when Leatherface is there angry with the chainsaw, swinging it in the air. Instead, it was Blood with the 30 pack of beer just swinging it in the air like, as we're fucking speeding off.
I don't recall that.
I don't know. I feel like I was there.
Yeah.
Even if I
it's a good
wasn't,
story.
I feel like I was there.
I wasn't there, but I believe it.
Yeah. Oh, it's believable. Trust me.
I can't believe he wastes perfectly good beer like that. Don't you know there are sober kids in India?
Blood away. I saved the case of beer.
Blood
drove away.
Blood was in a three-way dance in EWA with me and my friend DJ, who, if you don't know, had brain surgery.
I don't know this. Wait a minute. What happened?
Three-way hardcore match. You, me, and DJ, EWA, at the school, at the Value Food.
Yeah.
DJ, if you don't know,
Value Food.
If you don't know DJ, when he was 18 years old, his second day of wrestling school, he got a brain injury and he had to have major brain surgery. So we're doing this three-way match. Blood gives him a chair shot to the head, which DJ, asked for, he wanted to take. DJ crumbles.
Well, I mean, if you ask Blood for a chair shot, you know bad shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're asking for it.
DJ crumbles to the ground and rolls to the outside, where Vinny Versace starts kicking him, and DJ's just going, dude, I'm fucked up. And I'm like so worried about him. Like, my best friend is dying.
You were security and you
No,
came in.
I was in the match. DJ took the bump, and then the finish of the match was supposed to be Blood was going to give me a chair shot and beat me with a claw. So I'm worried about DJ. I'm coming back in like, all right, I guess I got to take the chair shot now. Blood hits me with a chair shot, and it hurt. It hurt. And then I do the Terry Funk stumble back to the ropes. I sell back. He gives me the claw, and I tap out. I get beat with the claw. So we go back to the locker room where DJ's half dead and possibly not going to survive. And Blood comes up to me and he says, "Psycrotes, why didn't you bump off the chair shot?" And I said, "Blood, you hit me so hard, I forgot to bump."
Well, speaking of you being
I
hit
don't
hard
remember
with
that
stuff,
match at all.
Blood doesn't remember a
I
lot.
don't remember being a match with me at all.
Do you remember, Psycrotes, do you remember AWL, the first show we had in West Virginia?
I do.
We did AWL, and it was you, Blood, and Chucky
Oh, yes, I
Manson
remember this
in
completely.
a three-way dance.
Yes.
And I asked you that week before, I was like,
Have you tried that?
Psycrotes, can you get a
good
pair of
shit.
boots or a pair of wrestling shoes? Yeah, sure, no problem. And at that time, you didn't have any gear.
Keep in mind,
So-
well, here's the thing. I've been working barefoot for like 5 years at that
Yeah.
point, and
Yeah.
Lunar was supposed to make me gear the night before.
Yeah.
But he got burned, and so.
Yeah.
no.
So instead of you wearing gear, you bring women's tights. So you're wearing women's tights, and your dick's just flonging along. Just your dick's just flapping along in the fucking tights. So I sit there and I look at Chucky. And Chucky had this bat with the, those little toppers that you throw in. Oh no, it was a tack bat.
Tack bat.
Yeah, it was a tack bat.
Mine was the popper bat.
Yeah, and I look at Chucky and I was like,
Don't you fucking film me.
I was like, can you do me a favor?
Fucking film me,
I was like,
fucker.
Psycrotes is not wearing shoes. Can you do me a
pants.
huge favor? Sure. Can you smack that motherfucker as hard as you can across his feet with that tack bat? And sure enough, I'm looking through the curtain, and I'm like, you guys had a great triple threat match, by the way. But I sit there and I see it happen. And sure enough, I see Chucky.
He screeched.
He reaches back.
screeched.
He fucking Babe Ruth fucking home run your
That son
fucking
of a
feet
bitch, he
with
did.
that bat. And just the look of shock on your face when that fucking happened, I was like, that motherfucker.
Keep in mind-
Next time I ask Psycrotes to wear fucking shoes,
Keep in
he's
mind-
gonna fucking wear shoes.
That was the first thumbtack bump in that match. There was I wish Mike was still here, because
No, I hit him in the knee with a fucking ball and chain.
Mike specifically asked me not to use the tacks in that match because he had his new canvas. He didn't want to take a chance of fucking it up. So of course I said, no problem, Mike. No problem, brother. So he's up in the crow's nest watching the show because he's the owner. He's in his suit.
Yeah.
We're doing the match. We're doing our spots. I go
And he
outside.
didn't want you guys to use tacks. You
No,
asked him about tacks.
he specifically asked me not to use the tacks.
Yeah. And the further you guys went out there, first fucking show, fucking tacks, right
So,
on that new canvas.
I go out, I grab a little bag, it might have been a very large bag, and I just start emptying tacks all over the canvas, and Chucky bumps me into the tacks, and
I'm sorry, Mike.
hey,
Welcome to wrestling.
what are you going to do, brother? What are you going to do?
Fuck you, Mike. What the fuck are you gonna do about it?
And by the way, I think Blood will concur with me, that was the best match of the show.
Well, that and also, you look at it, speaking of AWO, do you remember Jason Inc.? There was a guy named Jason Inc.
You son of a, how do you not remember that chair shot
So,
you gave me?
like Jason Inc. He
Jason
sits there.
Inc. Oh,
So
God.
he tried to sell himself to be a bigger worker than what he actually was.
Not to cut you off, but he messaged me on Facebook one time, and he asked, because I was doing EWA at the time as a ref, which I still am. He's like, are you still doing EWA? I was like, yeah, I'm still reffing there.
Yeah.
He's like, can you ask Jim if I can work one of his shows? I was like, aren't you in Minnesota now? He's like, yeah. He's like, tell Jim if he pays for me to fly out from Minnesota, I'll work EWA.
And he's one of the worst workers in the business. He's one of the worst workers in the business.
I didn't ask Jim, by the way.
So that motherfucker, he reaches out to Mike. So he's like, Mike, can I come in and do the show? And I look at Mike, I'm like, dude, you're spending a fortune on workers. Like, we don't have any other spots. There's only one spot I have for him, and if he doesn't want it, fuck him. And actually, Velveteen Dream, it was actually, and God forbid, it was Velveteen Dream's first show that he ever did. He showed up. He showed up with Mustafa Aziz.
Yep.
And he was training in the ring. I worked out with him a little bit in the ring, all that. And I told Jason Inc., I was like, hey, the only thing I have for you, it was a match between Alexander James and David Starr. I was like, the only thing I have for you is to deliver flowers to David Starr. He's like, oh, I'm not doing that. What do you think I am? I'm no fucking joke. I'm the real fucking deal. I was like, I don't give a fuck who you are. You're either going to do it or you're not going to be on the show. And he starts giving me all this shit. I'm like, you know what? Don't let me see you in my fucking locker room. Because if that's the case, I'm going to throw your fucking ass out. So he shows up to the show with Jeff Dennis. Jeff Dennis comes and
Jeff did security.
Yeah, referee Jeff Dennis comes and Ink comes along with him. So it's the whole thing of I'm sitting there and I look and he superstars me. I walk right past him. He doesn't shake my hand, nothing like that. He looks at me. I'm like, this motherfucking piece of shit. And like he went in the locker room with Jeff Dennis. I went up to Mike and I'm like, dude, get him the fuck out of the locker room right now. And DJ Hyde noticed that I was really like kind of, pacing back and forth. And he's like, what's up? And I told DJ's like, don't worry, I'll fucking take care of it. So DJ goes over. Bro, you gotta go. Get the fuck out of the locker room. So he's like all pissy, about to make a scene. And DJ's like, I'll fucking throw you out of here. I don't give a fuck. I'll put you on your ass right now. So, long story short, I'm sitting there and I look at Velveteen Dream, Patrick. I'm like, hey, you want to deliver flowers? Sure. Okay. There you go. So, now someone who, now is a Velveteen Dream in WWE, he delivers flowers to David Starr or whatever and all that because cocksucker fucking... and you remember when we
So
went
what you're saying is Jason Ink had almost as much heat in AWL as I did.
Yeah. And you remember when we went to SWO and Jason Ink was there and he did the triple threat match? It was him and Vam, I think. There was a worker named Vam. He was a backyarder there for a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
skinny black kid. And they had such a bad match that they sent the entire locker room out to fuck them up. Like I've never been at a lot of shows where they actually sent out guys to stop a match. And I was like, holy
Now the first AWL show, because you talked about how Jason Ink tried to get on. There were two guys who tried to get on with me.
Yeah.
One was Jay Baller.
Yeah.
And the other one was Butch S. Here's what happened. I told both of them, I was like, hey, we're starting a new fed, I'm just helping book whatever. So Baller's like, hey man, I'll work. And he's like, I was like, here's the thing. My buddy's the owner, let me give you his number. So he gave him his number. Or I gave him Mike's number.
Yeah.
Butch Hess apparently called Mike at least a dozen times trying to get Butch. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Butch Hess. I'm actually going to you know what? I'm actually going to refrain from saying anything else about this topic.
Oh my God!
But you've worked him, Ray.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: you have guys who are good. You have guys that are bad. That's the nature of the business.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the whole thing of dude, we've been through some shit.
Dude.
I mean, this is part 2 of this episode. We have probably roughly about 5 minutes left on the second episode. And it's the whole thing of...
And we haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, and we haven't even scratched the surface.
Right.
So we're going to have to do this again down the line, in the future as another episode.
And that's what I'm trying to say is...
Yeah.
This it's so raw.
So raw.
So raw, like
So
raw.
It's fucking sexy.
Yeah. Nice and raw dog. It's raw dog. Yeah, it's
Raw
100% raw
dog.
dog.
This is shit you guys coming
Yeah.
from like I said, like
my
before,
beard.
like a non-wrestler's like
Yeah.
this is shit that you want to know.
There is one.
This is the shit that just gets your dick hard.
Mine's hard right now. There is one feature.
No, you better watch it because if it gets too hard, he might just start spewing fucking sperm out of his fucking shorts.
And you won't know whether to come or cry.
Yeah.
You're wearing fucking green fucking shorts.
Before we wrap up, there is one feature.
Green as
Yeah. Well, you saw
You're
him
gonna
showed up.
notice the cum stain.
You were like, who the hell's outside your house that's wearing those bright
I
ass
saw
green
him
shorts?
fucking my wife.
I'm the color. Blood thinks I look sexy.
I did not say you didn't look. Jonathan Davis did not say you didn't look sexy.
Before we wrap up, are you ready? Before we wrap up, there is one feature that we've got to get in. Because would you agree, Awkward, that I might have said one or two things in this podcast that would get heat with people?
Probably.
Maybe
one or two.
And this this is on the Facebook Live.
Should we do
and I'm sure Psycrotes doesn't give a shit, but we're gonna roll off the Psycrotes heat counter on who Psycrotes has heat with, and this is gonna be the greatest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life.
The High Priest heat counter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go in chronological.
Now, are you gonna go in chronological order? Or are you gonna include people who you once had heat with that you don't have heat with anymore, like myself and Blair? And,
okay, I'm gonna name everybody in this episode I've talked about. I'll also name people I've had heat with at some point. All right, just in this episode. Keep in mind we've been doing this for what 2 hours almost.
Yeah, 2 episodes straight.
Just in this 2 hours, I have started heat in this episode. We're gonna go in order now.
Cody McGraw.
We're gonna.
Put it this way: if you're gonna have heat with these guys before, you're gonna have heat with them now.
We're gonna go.
They're no longer gonna listen to the Happy Hour podcast because of fucking Psycrotes, which means we're not gonna have heat with them.
We're gonna go in order. Yeah. Jamie Lucas, once again, fucking you fucking cunt. Fuck Jamie Lucas. Fucking Jamie Lucas. I hope she gets AIDS. Seriously.
Coming from
next.
Jesus Christ.
Samu.
Next.
What do you have heat with Samu for?
Because the whiskey, he couldn't drink my whiskey.
Because he couldn't drink the dude just had cancer, and you have heat with him because he wouldn't drink.
No. I like Samu. I love Samu, but he might have heat with me. I might have heat with him because the whiskey thing. Anyway. Next. Cody McGraw.
Next.
Jimmy Stars.
Jimmy Stars. We all have you, Jimmy Stars, you bitch.
Did I say Cody McGraw? Did I say Cody McGraw yet?
Yeah, you said Cody McGraw.
Al Snow, you fucking cocksucker.
Fuck you, Al Snow.
Al Snow.
Fuck you, Al Snow.
Al Snow, I challenge you to a shoot fight. Right now. Me and you, brother. I will choke you out, you son of a bitch.
Why?
Next.
Fuck Al Snow.
Okay.
I like you, Al Snow.
At some point, Chase Rawlings. At some point, co-host Mike. Oh God, who else are we going with? Alex Lohner.
Blood.
You know what? I honestly don't think I've ever had heat with Blood. You know what? Did I mention Jamie Lucas? You motherfucking cunt.
What about the other chick, Brittany? Do you have heat with her?
Yeah, fuck her too. I don't hate her as much.
Fuck her and her dead body. It's a Psycrotes' yard.
You
killed her. You killed the chick.
She may or may not be buried somewhere. I'm not gonna go any further because the statute of limitations still applies.
He fucking hates the chick he's fucking now.
Tori Love, just because you charged me too much money last time, but you suck a good dick, so I'll forgive you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh God, you know what?
Dan.
I'm just getting started.
This is
awkward Dan. Just because he's
an awkward.
Just because he's awkward.
He came with his girlfriend.
That fucking military.
Right.
There's 3 military guys.
Right now, Psycrotes doesn't know if he wants to come or cry.
There's 3 military guys at the fucking beach house. If I ever see you again, I will
kill you.
I will break your back.
Kill you.
I will sick blood on you.
Fucking motherfuckers.
Good luck with that one.
Don't you fucking. God damn it!
Corey Bush, because I bled in his mouth.
I don't know what happened. This went from a funny podcast to Psycrotes just being angry and just shooting fire.
I just
don't understand.
I'm just airing my grievances. You know what? Corey Bush, just because I bled in his mouth. I'm sorry, Corey. I love you, you fat bastard. I love you. Fucking.
Everyone loves Corey Bush.
Oh, fuck. Butch Hess. Jesus Christ. You know what?
Butch Hess.
Butch Hess. I love Butch. Best worker in the fucking business.
Oh my
Jay
God.
Baller. You know what? And you know what? I think that might be it for this episode. Did I mention Jamie Lucas?
Yes, you did mention Jamie Lucas.
I think we're
5
good.
minutes. It's okay.
Not bring her up to the next episode.
Oh, Jesus
you,
Christ.
Al Snow.
And Al Snow. Don't forget Al Snow, yes.
Yeah.
Fuck Al Snow.
Oh, my God. So, guys, we're at the 56-minute mark. We're going to have to go. I really appreciate this. We're going to have to do this again soon because there's more stories that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, Blood, Psycrotes, Chris Brown, a.k.a. Awkward Dan. Of course, this is Chase Rawlings. This is Matt. Unfortunately, Mike couldn't be here. This is the Happy Hour Podcast. We will see you next week. And next week, we will have a very special guest, and that being porn star Sophia West. So make sure you tune in for that, for porn star Sophia West, who will be calling in via Skype.